So you're thinking about moving to New Orleans. Well, do not move to New Orleans until you watch this video, because I'm going to tell you a couple of things that might deter you from moving here. If you're new to my channel, my name is Emily Taveras, and I talk all things about what it's like to live, eat, sleep, and play in New Orleans, as well as the surrounding suburbs. So if you're wanting to know about what it's like to live, eat, sleep, and play here, feel free to contact me. All my links are in the description below. You can call me, text me, email me, or schedule a calendar link with me. I want to make this move as smooth as possible for you. So the first reason why you might not want to move to New Orleans is going to be the humidity level. The humidity in New Orleans is around 75 to 80%, and it's year-round. So you're constantly going to feel like you're sticky and just moist the entire year. Also, if you have curly hair like me, your hair is definitely going to hate you. Let me just tell you. I moved to Louisiana about a year ago, and I can't tell you how many hair products my hair has gone through that, I've had to throw out specifically because of the humidity level here. So you might not want to move to Louisiana specifically because of that. You're also probably going to have your air conditioner on all year, so keep that in mind. The second reason you might not want to move to New Orleans is because of the hurricanes. Louisiana in general tends to have hurricanes, and being that New Orleans is below sea level, you're going to unfortunately have a lot of weather alerts telling you that there's going to be hurricanes as well as flooding happening in the city. So if you're someone that's never dealt with a hurricane or just never dealt with terrible flooding in general, then you're probably not going to want to move to New Orleans. The third reason you might not want to move to New Orleans is because New Orleans always has tourists visiting the city. So if you're someone who does not like a lot of loud noises or a crowd of people during festivals, then you're probably not going to enjoy New Orleans. New Orleans tends to be overcrowded during peak tourist seasons, such as February when the Mardi Gras festival happens, as well as in October when people tend to come visit the city due to Halloween. So if you're someone that wants to live in a small town and you do not like a full crowd of people, then New Orleans might not be a great option for you. The fourth reason you might not want to move to New Orleans is unfortunately going to be the homelessness. If that's something that you're not looking forward to, then you're probably not going to want to move to New Orleans. The fifth reason you're probably not going to want to move to New Orleans is because of the limited green space. Now, don't get me wrong. New Orleans is beautiful, and it does have a couple of parks for the residents, such as City Park, which is a great family-friendly park in the area with tons of activities to do. But New Orleans is not really known for having this green scenery. It's more so a city with vibrant art and a lot of fun things that people can do. A lot of people actually go to the North Shore of New Orleans, which is where all of these suburbs are located, such as Mandeville, Covington, Slidell, Abita Springs, and so much more. And that is where a lot of the residents actually enjoy being outdoors, going kayaking, biking, and so much more, and just being out on Lake Pontchartrain on boats, and just overall being in that environment where they can do outdoor activities with their kids. So if that's something that interests you, and you're someone that loves hiking and biking, that loves hiking and being outdoors because of the limited green spaces that New Orleans. The sixth reason you might not want to move to New Orleans is going to be the traffic. Unfortunately, just like any other major city, New Orleans does experience traffic. It's not as bad as a couple of cities such as New York, but New Orleans is known for having really bad infrastructure, and with bad infrastructure comes a lot of traffic. And when tourists visit the city, traffic becomes unbearable. Let's just say that. I mean, a lot of the times I usually do not drive to New Orleans specifically because of the traffic. Also, New Orleans is known for having potholes. So if you're someone that, you don't want to get your car messed up, then definitely don't want to move to New Orleans, because you're either going to have an issue with traffic or the potholes, unfortunately. And the seventh and last reason you might not want to move to New Orleans is going to be the cost of living. New Orleans, compared to a lot of the major cities, is going to be a lot lower in terms of the cost of living, but there are a couple of hidden costs that you're definitely going to want to keep in mind. The median home price in New Orleans is around $324,000. Considering that New Orleans is very humid, you're probably going to want to have your air conditioner on throughout the entire year. So that's also going to make your cost of living go up. And unfortunately, since New Orleans does have really bad infrastructure, you're probably going to have to spend tons of money that you probably weren't expecting on car insurance as well as your car maintenance, specifically because of how deep the potholes are. So if you're someone that's thinking about moving to New Orleans, you're definitely going to want to look into homeowners insurance, flood insurance, and you're probably going to want to weigh in on your car insurance and how much it costs from the city you live in now to how much it might be when you decide to move to New Orleans. So that might be something that if you've never dealt with anything such as your city flooding, then you're probably going to want to reconsider if you decide to move to New Orleans, because believe it or not, a lot of people do not want to move to New Orleans specifically because of the flooding. New Orleans is a beautiful city, but it also has things that might deter you from moving. So if you found this video valuable, and if you do decide to move to New Orleans, I want to help you make the move as smooth as possible. Feel free to call me, text me, email me. All of my links are in the description below. Or if you would like to schedule a meeting with me, my calendar link is in the description below. I look forward to hearing from you.